Florida Congressman Byron Donalds. He sits on the House Oversight Committee. Sir, welcome. Thanks for coming on. It's an exciting time in Washington. We're just days away from the Trump inauguration. His picks are going through the confirmation process. What do you make of what you've seen so far?
Well, I mean, look, first, yesterday, Pete Hegseth did a great job. Watched the morning side of the hearing before I had to get to some meetings here on the Hill. He was phenomenal in that. The Democrats tried to trip him up. They tried to get into semantics. They tried to get into details that, frankly, are really reserved for deputy secretaries and assistant deputy secretaries. He did a great job. I think it set the pace. It set the tone for the rest of these nomination contests. I don't even want to call them fights. I'll just call them contests. Pam Bondi and Marco Rubio, I mean, not just because they're Florida, but they're going to do exceptional as well today. I think it's going to be pretty smooth sailing for the president and his nominees.
Yeah. Congressman, we'll dive into a very big day for Florida. I'm sure there's got to be a little bit of pride in this moment. Obviously, you're looking at Marco Rubio, former Florida senator. You're looking at former Florida AG, Pam Bondi, all representative of the great state of Florida, and they have their confirmation hearings today. If I can focus on Senator Rubio just for a moment here, Politico put out an article saying there should not be any issue with Rubio, as you stated, getting confirmed. But he will go through this process. But Politico reports he won't last long in a Trump administration. Would you disagree with that?
I disagree. I mean, look, Marco, number one, there's few people on Capitol Hill with as much foreign policy depth of knowledge than Marco Rubio. That's number one. Number two, he and President Trump have a great relationship. This is very different from 2016. I know in 2016, the president nominated an initial cabinet. A lot of people rolled out pretty quickly. Donald Trump has had an opportunity to actually be away from the White House, away from the presidency. So these picks are not just who is in front of him. This has been well thought out for quite some time. The people signing up for these jobs, like Marco, like Pam Bondi, they know who Donald Trump is. He's no nonsense. He has an agenda. If you're not getting the job done to his specifications, you're out of there. Let's everybody get on the same page. They know this. So I think for Marco, he's going to do a great job. He's going to be around for a while. I mean, nobody ever tells a nominee, except if you worked for Joe Biden and all his nominees, quite frankly, were pitiful, that you're going to be around for all 4 years. That is typically not the case. But don't expect to see what we saw in the first Trump administration in this administration. Yeah. The people coming in, they know the score, they know the plans, they know the detail, and a major credit to President Trump and his team for going through the vetting process before they made these nominations. I think Marco, like everybody else, is going to do a great job.
Let's go back to Pete Hegseth for a beat, just because of the controversy that he had faced surrounding the nomination and then the sort of attack lines that we'd seen from some Democratic senators. We gathered a few of those sound bites together. We'll play them for you now.
Do you know that being drunk at work is prohibited for service members under the UCMJ?
Senator, those
yes
are
or no?
Multiple false anonymous reports.
Everything you've said in these public statements is politics. I don't want women. I don't want moms. What's wrong with a mom, by the way?
You're quite sure that every general who serves should not go directly into the defense industry for 10 years. But you're not willing to make that same pledge?
I'm not a general, Senator.
Sir, just your reaction to sort of the tone that was maybe sent by some of those Democratic senators in the room.
I mean, listen, they're trying to find some way to trip him up and make him look bad. The Democrat Party's really in a shambles right now. They don't know what they want to argue about or argue for. A lot of their policy positions were basically thrown onto the ash heap of history by the voters of the United States of America. So they're looking for any opportunity to try to find a wedge for their party to gain their footing again. Didn't happen yesterday. Pete Hegseth took care of that masterfully. But this is to be expected. I'm on the Oversight Committee. Yesterday, we had some blowups in that committee as well. This is going to happen, especially over the first 6 months or so here. The Democrats are trying to find their footing. I don't really have anything else to say about any of that.
All right. That is Florida Congressman Byron Donalds joining us here. We do appreciate that, Congressman. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.